If you're here watching this video, if you clicked on this title, then it means that you're feeling like you've got the potential to be creative, that you believe, even if other people would laugh at that idea, or so you think, that you could create art yourself. So I'm currently reading a book called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. It's funny because if a few years ago anybody would have told me that I was going to read a book about how to express your creativity and how to be an artist, I would have laughed because I used to think that that was absolutely not who I was, and that artists were these very specific type of people, but that it was not for me. So I think that when I was younger, the reason why I thought that art was not for me was because I had this very old-fashioned idea of what art is, and that people are born being creative. And it's only in recent years when I started using my camera more, and that I researched into photography and really lived that way more, that I realized that we all have this capacity in us to be artists. So I remember when I was just 11 years old in 5th grade, when I was in art class, there was this friend of mine who was naturally creative. It was pretty amazing, really. I remember how he was able to draw these amazing images and paint really well. He really could do everything. He was able to not just do art, but he was even able to just walk on his hands somehow, and it looked all very easy to him. He was able to do all sorts of stuff. He had a natural talent for not just art, I think. I was thinking that this is how creative people are, that they are just born with a natural talent, and that if I'm not like this, I should just give up. So can you imagine that at the age of 11, I decided that I was not an artist, didn't have it in me, and that I should give up instead at 11. And if instead I had kept at it, I had started to learn about drawing, photography, whatever, nowadays, how much further would I be than I am right now? Oh, I'm getting really hot here. The sun has come out. I'm going to find some shade. So I think part of the problem for me was that when I was younger, I really didn't think that photography was art. I remember discovering Todd Heido's work. I think it was called Homes at Night. And I was looking at these pictures of homes he'd taken in the dark with only the street lamps on, and they were so spooky and had this otherworldly atmosphere, and they were really making me feel something, like there was at the same time this kind of fear, because it was kind of fear of the dark, this idea of, are we intruding on people's private lives, because sometimes you could see shapes behind the windows. But most of all, I found it amazing how these photographs were really expressive and getting something across. And before that moment, I had always thought of photography more as a tool to, take family photos and to remember memories and stuff like that, but more documentary, if you will. But from the moment when I realized that your photos don't need to be aesthetically perfect, but that they can have a certain message, tell a story, that's when it really clicked for me, and I found that absolutely amazing. So just imagine with me, like it's a little bit like a corridor with several doors, and each door is a different art form. One will be painting, one will be drawing, another one will be singing, I don't know, all sorts of art forms. And at the very bottom on the left or right hand side, there was one door labeled photography, and I had no idea this door existed, so I had never considered it for me before. I also think that creativity is a little bit like a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it atrophies. Over the years that I hadn't created anything, my muscle was really, really weak. It was really small. It was a little bit like somebody who never exercises and always just sits around. If they have to climb stairs, they will be really out of breath. But if that same person now starts to walk on a regular basis, after 2 or 3 weeks, he will be able to climb up the stairs really quickly. And I think what really changed is that I started exercising my creative muscle, instead of just letting it lie around not being used. I started to take photos and go out on a regular basis, and little by little I believe and I hope that my creative muscle has improved a little bit, has become a little bit stronger. So I'd like to ask you, have you been exercising your creative muscle? Maybe you just haven't exercised it enough, maybe you haven't gone out often enough in recent times. And imagine it's a little bit like when you're at the gym, there might be the treadmill that you don't like very much, there might be, I don't know, the what do you call it, where you push with your legs against it, that you don't like at all. The free weights, maybe you don't like them, but next door there's a swimming pool, and if you go in there, suddenly everything is perfect. Well, these different kinds of exercises are a little bit similar to what we can see in art or creativity. Maybe if drawing is not your thing, if playing an instrument is not your thing, well, maybe photography will be, or any other kind of art. So maybe it's just a case of exploring a little bit and giving you permission to try different things. So if I could go back in time, I would love to speak to my 11-year-old self. I would tell him, that guy, he's amazing, he's definitely creative, but so are you. You just need to try a little bit more often. You just need to stop comparing yourself to others. You need to stop looking at what others are doing and just find out what you enjoy, what you love. Just give yourself the permission. Try it, try different things, find the art form that's yours. Maybe you just haven't found it yet. So let's go back to the corridor with the different doors. Just choose any door you want, choose any form of art you want. I'm opening the door for you wide, and I'm giving you permission. Just try it out and go and have fun with it. So I'm just somebody who found my own door. I found photography, and I think that's perfect for me. Maybe for you it will be photography as well, maybe it will be another art form, but you're more creative than you think. I would love it if you could find your own art form and your own creative way in which you can excel. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about this and what kind of art form you would like to explore. I hope you have a wonderful day, and click on that link below to see you in the next video.